happy hour where you unwind in between the grind. And I have here with me today, C. Andrea, the R&B star. All right, let them know who you are, what you do.
So my name is C. Andrea. I'm a singer-songwriter from the DMV, of course. I sing R&B. I make R&B music. So yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm Get with Nick. Nick also the podcast host. I do a lot of things. This is the first time I'm bringing back my podcast. And yeah, why not start with my homegirl? Like, we got a lot of history together, so I feel like the vibe would be right to start off with somebody that I already know. We've worked together, and so it's a pleasure just really just being able to sit here and reflect on the year that we've had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I got a few questions, but let's start with an icebreaker.
All right, cool. All right.
We're gonna start with an icebreaker. Which one? All right. You have to wear a t-shirt with one word on it for a year. What would it say?
One word.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Don't think too long now.
Positivity.
Positivity?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because it's going to remind me, like, if I have to pick a word, first of all, I don't wear clothing with words on it like that.
Okay.
And then, just one word.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, what am I going to want to say to myself and other people? Like, anytime I look in the mirror and I see myself wearing that shirt and anybody else sees me with that shirt, it'll probably be positivity. Because how many times are you having, like, a really bad day and you just need to remember, like, all right, let's just be positive.
I feel you.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Like,
that's like a cute answer, right?
Because, I mean, what else would I say? I have no idea. Like,
if I had to put something on a shirt, I would probably say, so my cousin, right? My late cousin, he said his word would be no. Because everybody asking you for something. Like, they always be like asking for a million and one things. So he said, like, no, because I feel like he was always like a people pleaser. So it's like he would say yes. He would pull up to things and like always be there and just always be there for people in general. But I feel like my word would be like, please. And it could be interpreted in different ways, right? Yeah, so like you could put it in ways where it's like, oh my God, like please leave me alone, like please, like you know what I mean? Or like please, like also showing kindness. Like if someone is, having a bad day, just saying, please, can you help me, is another way to like kind of like break the ice or just like disarm them in a sense. So it's like, I just feel like I have that duality where it's like I can turn up on people, but then I can also just be nice and I have a side to me as well. So that's what I would say on the shirt.
Okay, right? So like practical.
Yeah, just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna offend you, but it's also like, yo, like I can still kind of like,
it goes both ways.
Yeah, I got a lot of duality to me. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about the single of the year. All right, I got some notes. Let's see. So you dropped the single "Who's Loving You."
Yes,
right?
I did.
That was like your whole like just kind of rebranding. You told me that you were trying to just kind of get a new sound and just getting a new vibe because you had some old music, but you wanted to just start fresh.
Yeah.
And so you invited me into it, and you wanted to do a music video. First of all, okay, let's backstory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell them how we met.
So we met at the studio that I recorded Who's Loving You. So like that was kind of cool. Before, you were the first engineer that I worked with.
Was I the first? I thought Static was the first.
Yes. But he wasn't here, like, because you were, like, starting up the session, like, getting everything ready for
him. I was his
Yeah.
apprentice. Yeah, that's true.
So, that's the first thing I walked in. I was like, hold on, female engineer?
Period.
Like,
period. Knew probably 50% of what to do, but.
Yeah, but, like, it was really cool. And it was my first time here, and I had a couple of friends with me too. So it was my first time recording in a little while, and I also had like a bit of an audience. So it was just cool. I was like, hold on, is that a woman recording me right now? Like,
that was a baddie.
That was tough, yeah.
She was there.
Yeah, that was tough. So you were at a few more sessions, and I think we talked about, what I was trying to do and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, we just got cool from it. Was because we had a mutual friend.
Okay.
Once we found out we had that mutual friend.
Yes, Alicia. Shout out to Alicia Be Live, y'all. She be doing her thing. Yes.
Yeah, so I feel like it just kind of like continued from there. It was like, oh, okay, cool. So then we ended up talking about a music video for a song that I was working on, and it kind of just went from there.
Yeah. But also tell them, like, when I met Ciandra, I felt like I was just kind of over hearing the typical DMV sessions that we had. Yeah. And I'm not going to dive too much into it, but I'm just saying, like, I was very bored. So it's like when I walked into the studio and I heard Ciandra's session, like, I kind of just wanted just to be around it a lot more, because it's like you gave us a fresh vibe. Like, it was the R&B vibe, first of all, because most sessions that come into the studio compound is rap and hip-hop. And I was like, oh my God, like, I need to hear some talent. So when I heard you, I was like, okay, she got something. It was sensual. It was just like, it was so, what's the word? Like, it was just like so captivating, like, for real. And so, you know, Static was recording you, and I really was like, yeah, I need to tap in with her, because that's what I was looking for. You know, I came to the studio and I really wanted to be, you know, an A&R in the industry, but, you know, the studio had an engineering opportunity, and I was just like, okay, like, I'll engineer, you know, whatever. But when I came to see you, I was engineering, but I was also, like, listening to you just to see, you know, what we could do with you. Like, I remember, I think it was that session, it might have been the first or second session. I was just like, yo, like, what are you going to do next? Like, you need to launch that single. Like, we can't just leave this here. You know what I mean? So when you had the music video, I think I introduced the idea.
You did. It
right?
was you. It was December. Like, I think I remember around the time it was, like, December. I think I was leaving out of the studio, and he mentioned something about a music video. And I was like, I mean, I'll do one. I'm not opposed at all. And then I thought it was kind of far-fetched, but I started, like, conceptualizing the idea. And that was the thing. Like, you pushed it, like, now we could really do this. And I was like, okay, well, if we're going to do this, I'm trying to do this in 2 months. And we literally, from us having that conversation to the music video being done, like, fully shot and everything, was about 2 months. Yeah, like, it's crazy.
No, we snapped. It was me, you, and Alicia, and we was just like, yo, we gonna get it done. You know, Dave Mom was our production assistant as well. He was our extra actor. Yo, he did his thing. He acted a little too well, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, hold on, what's going on? But yo, he definitely needed to tap into some acting opportunities for sure. So let's rewind back a little more. What is your musical background? Like, how did you get started singing? Like, give us a little more insight on that, right? Because I met you kind of like when you were already there, but like, start us from the beginning.
So, like, growing up, my family's like pretty musical. I would say, like, my grandmother sings, my dad sings. I had an aunt. She was like on my dad's side of the family too, with my grandmother and my father, and she would sing as well. So, like, growing up, I was just really very early exposed to music, and one of my earliest memories of me singing is my dad telling me how he was playing Celine Dion or something, and I'm in the back seat just like cranking one of her songs. It was probably My Heart Will Go On or something like that.
That's a deep one.
Yeah,
Celine Dion.
Yeah, like, who listens to? Because my parents listened to a lot of old school music. My dad was heavy on the smooth jazz. Okay, the smooth jazz channel. And my mom, she listens to a lot of like Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, like that 97.1 kind of station. That's like really like the throwback 80s, 90s, 2000 songs. So yeah, I have a lot of musical influence from some of like the waymakers for like R&B and soul. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. And that musical influence, like, as I grew up, I just wanted to sing. Like, I knew I wanted to sing. I knew I wanted to do something with music. And it was just always singing for me. Like, I always gravitated towards it. Anytime I had music class and we would be singing songs and stuff, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm trying to do solos or whatever. So, yeah, and I played a lot of musical instruments growing up. Like, I started piano at 4, guitar, clarinet. Damn. Yeah. So
that was hard. How old were you when when you started like singing and just tapping into the musical stuff?
That early memory I'm talking about is like probably like 3, 4. But I know that wanting to play the piano came from like Alicia Keys. You know, Alicia Keys sang and played the piano at the same time. So I don't know. I just always was drawn to music, whether it was listening to it, being around it, singing it, learning how to make it. Yeah, like it's just always been my thing.
Period. I know that's right. So it's like you were kind of destined. You know what I mean?
I was hoping you know.
You found your passion very early. You know
Very
that doesn't
early.
really happen a lot. Like me, I didn't find my passion until the pandemic. You know what I mean? I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was kind of just trying to like appease my mom in a sense. Like I was just trying to like just do what she wanted me to do. And then it really took for me to sit down and slow down for me to see like what I really want to do. You know what I mean? It took for my jobs to reduce my hours, for me to have a lot of free time, for me to watch a lot of TV. Like I remember watching Issa Rae. And it was this one scene. I don't know if you watched
Insecure for sure. I've seen every episode.
So you remember when Condola, she had told Lawrence that she was pregnant,
right?
Okay,
I do.
Right after she told him she was pregnant, it was the song Maya Case of the X. Okay, you gotta rewatch it.
I might have to rewatch it.
Rewatch it because as soon as she told him she was pregnant, and like the scene goes black and it's just like dun. Like, because they were exes at that point. They were exes.
Yeah, they weren't together anymore.
So Issa and her team, they chose Case of the X, and I was like, wow, like, okay, I want to work in music because I want to pull that emotion out of people, like, because I was tuned in. This was like what, season 4 at that point?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Like, and so like I'm emotionally tied to Lawrence, emotionally tied to Condola, and all of that, and so I was just like, oh shit, this is a Case of the X moment. And like they just picked the song perfectly. And I was like, I want to be a part of something like that. So that's when I really started like just trying to see how I can get into the music industry. And that's where I'm here now. Like I'm on the podcast. I'm engineering, I'm A&R, and I'm creative directing music videos, wherever I can, and just working. And so, that's where I found my passion. So, like, you're really blessed, for real, to find your passion very early. Yeah. And so, like, let's talk more about it, right? So, let's talk about, like, your musical inspirations. So, you said you was already listening to Celine Dion. Is there anybody else that you listen to or you want to sound like or whatever?
Well, I would say, like, early musical influences would be, like, of course, the Celine Dion's. One of my big ones was Luther Vandross. Like, he was one of my big ones. It's crazy. Like, because remember I told you my dad used to listen to the smooth jazz, so we used to play him on there, like a few of his songs. He was a big one. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. She's probably my
rest in
favorite
peace
of
to the
all
greatest.
Time. Loved her. Loved her. Mariah Carey. I don't know if I said her once or twice already.
You didn't say her yet.
Yeah, Mariah Carey. She was up there.
Okay.
Of course, Celine Dion. And this is like the old school, like the throwback. New school, who I would want to sound like, the sound I would want to emulate. You have a lot of good R&B artists, and I feel like they've set themselves above the rest in the way that they're doing things. I love her. Her.
Let's pause.
Yes.
Because she could play an instrument. She could sing. No, she plays multiple instruments, I think.
Yeah, piano, guitar. Yeah. Bass, probably.
Yeah. Her is definitely one of them, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, who else?
Her. Of course, Summer Walker. Lucky Day, love him. Eric Bellinger, who is now really everybody's really starting to get hip to him. But, like, he's been in the game writing for, like, Chris Brown. He wrote for Brandy. Like,
I didn't know that. You teaching me.
I love him as a songwriter.
Okay.
A local artist, Kevin Ross. He's a great songwriter, too. He has, like, some really dope music. There are probably a few more, but those are, like, some of the big ones that I really draw inspiration from.
That's a vibe. Yeah, Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson definitely need to be on your top 5.
Yes.
If it's not, I don't know what you're doing. You a little lost.
Like, who you listen to,
You a little lost, you know what I mean? Okay. what's challenging as an artist? Like, you could talk about whatever. Just like tell us like why it's challenging to be an artist in the R&B industry right now.
Well,
damn, like you had to
like
damn, you sweat.
Before I get into it, I'm like, okay, so the first thing would be, so we already talked about how I came into the studio and I'm like, damn, is that a woman recording me? Like, I would say finding your team. That's one of the hardest things because you got to work with people that believe in your vision. So like everything we did for that music video was just us getting together and putting a lot of ideas to work. So like if you want to find an engineer, that was the biggest thing for me for a while, finding an engineer that I liked what he was doing with my voice and my sound and my music. Yeah. Because like you said, a lot of people are recording rap artists. They're not really recording R&B artists. So finding an engineer, a videographer that I really trusted enough to work with.
Shout out to Alex.
Shout out to Alex.
We needed you today.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah, your name definitely came up today too. Yeah, like shout out to Alex for sure. Because it was crazy because when we did the music video, a lot of the stuff that I was looking for came together. But like, you know, even finding other women to work with, it's such a male-dominated industry. Yeah, it's always nice to have talented women to work with. I
can speak to that too. You know, just being like a woman in the industry where it's like, you know, we both attractive. You know what I mean? So it's like when I really be on business. Like I am not trying to be in the music industry trying to fuck on nobody. None of that, right? So it's like me just trying to like get my way in. You know, it's always like, okay, we should work together. And then when it's really, you know, time to work together, they don't take you seriously, but they want to slide in them DMs. You know what I mean? It's like, no, that's not what I'm on. Like, I'm really trying to network and maneuver, you know what I mean? And it's just, it's annoying, just period. Like, I always wonder, like, if I was ugly, would you still have that same energy? Or would you really, you know, take me seriously?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's almost like a curse in a sense, right? Like, shout out to Gunna, a gift and a curse, because it's like, you know, you got a talent or whatever. You just beautiful at the same time.
That's just so happened to be. It's not even about that. Like, that's just another aspect of it. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like, I get so frustrated. So as soon as I see someone on some bullshit, like, and it's like, that's not what you was on when I first talked to you. You know what I mean? So you try to slide in the DMs. You try to be sneaky. You know what I mean? It's just like, nah, bruh. Like,
especially when you come at it from the beginning. It's like, okay, how many times have you been in a situation where, like, you make the initial impression, everything looks good, and then right after that, like, the second or third impression, it's like, bro, like, for real?
Oh, don't put up a good friend.
Like, a great friend.
What?
Like, because, you know, we're used to that by now. You have a couple of different, whatever it is that you're looking for, like,
couple sessions, couple whatever, like whatever.
Then finally you're like, okay, maybe this could be something. And then as soon as you let your guard down,
it's still a man. At the end of the day, it's still a man. Like, and it's so annoying because, like, a lot of the times I feel like projects get done, like, more efficiently. Like, my team, at this point, like, we all women.
Yeah.
Like, I
shout out to the women.
I'm not going to throw no shade, but I'm just saying my team is all women, and I feel like we got the job done every time. Like, your music video, my podcast, like, everything that I do, I already know, like, it's a lot of women behind it, and it's going to get done.
Yeah.
And it's like, even like, okay, think of Future, right? So Future, a lot of people, you know, they rock with his music, they fuck with his music. And, you know, he's talking about, like, I mean, he don't say this verbatim, but he say, fuck bitches, get money, right? But his manager is a woman. And I'm sure there's other women on his team that are also, like, kind of, like, pushing the needle in a sense. And it's just, like, the women is really getting the job done. You know what I mean? The men is the ones who's lollygagging, who's playing, you know what I mean? They over here just trying to flirt, not trying to take you seriously. But when it comes to a woman, she want to get it done. She's she's more meticulous. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be what it's supposed to be. Like, men be bullshitting a lot of the times. I'm not going to lie. I don't, you know, I'm not going to knock the respect down, though. You know what I mean? The music industry, there's a lot of legends who, you know, paved the way for us, who were men. But I still believe that women are needed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We very necessary. So it's like, take it seriously. That's all I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, like that's the bottom line. I would say that's probably the hardest part, because also like me being in a relationship too, it's like, bro, I'm really not here for that. Like I'm not here for that. My nigga's not here for that. Like let's not do that. But the other thing that's like right up there, I don't know which one is worse, is everything is expensive.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it. What?
Like everything is, so for a long time I was dropping SoundCloud music for that very reason. Like, you gotta pay to have your shit on all platforms.
I'm gonna drink to everything being expensive,
hold on,
by the
wait.
way. Like, I'm gonna drink to that.
Like, pause for that.
Yeah. What? Breathing is $50.
Facts. Like, and yeah, like I think I had like a delusional perception of what I could do without really like forking some bread into everything. But you gotta pay for the beat. And then it depends on which license you're getting, like which producer you're working with. Yep. That's the first thing. You gotta pay to come in and record. You gotta pay to mix the track. You gotta pay to host your track on the platforms. You gotta pay to master the track. Like at every turn you're getting smacked with a bill. And sometimes I feel like as an artist, especially with R&B, because it's going to take me longer to finish an entire track as an R&B artist versus a rapper. Like if I come in there ready to go, like I might have to dub a track. I might have to do the same track twice.
Yep, I was going to say the layers.
Yeah, the layers are crazy. So that's one thing. Like the session is going to cost more. And then there are more tracks to mix and all of that. So that's the first thing. And then on the back end, you got 100 different options, 100 other different things you got to do. So I don't know. I feel like, and then if I want to perform, I'm not getting paid to perform right off the bat. I'm doing a lot of pro bono shows. Yep. Sometimes if you want to open for
let's talk
an artist,
we not gonna name names, but go ahead, tell them about your experience.
Like if you wanna, so I was speaking to somebody about possibly opening for, a nice, small, decent little show, nothing crazy, at like either Songbird in DC or somewhere else. They talking about like $500 to open for like a 10-15 minute set, which I've done for free many times.
I'm trying not to snort because I know the mic is ringing, but that shit is hilarious. Because $500
for how long
for an opening, and it was just
like, first of all, and we went to a show where we saw the opening artist. First of all, there was only like 60% of the total crowd that ended up showing up for the actual artist. Yeah. On top of that, everybody was chatting.
Yeah. The ROI don't beat her. So like, I mean, your price is your price. Yeah. But like, it has to make sense.
It's for sure. And then like, if you're charging like $20 tickets, $20 tickets. Yeah. What am I paying $500 for as an opening artist?
No, that's facts.
So I don't know, especially if I'm just trying to get my foot in the door. That's where it goes back to like, as a woman, like they might be like, oh yeah, let's put you on the stage. But what do I really get from that? What am I getting from that? What do I have to put in to get what I'm trying to get?
And I'm not gonna lie, that $500 fee would probably go down if you was actually interested in them. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Go back into, but whatever.
That's for sure.
We off that. We off that, right? So, all right, let's talk about the song, right? So the song is called "Who's Loving You."
Who is loving you?
So we clearly talking about cheaters, right? So like, what inspired that song? Like, is it a true event? Did you imagine it in your head? Like, crazy. Talk to us.
So "Who's Loving You"? I actually wrote that in 2020 during the pandemic. Like,
you was dating mommy? You was dating mommy?
No, but we were always cool, so like it was not him. Like, but I remember a friend of mine was trying out her edible company, Right.
I don't know where we going with this, but
it was like an infused parfait. I think it had like alcohol in it or whatever.
Okay.
So I won her contest. She had a free contest where you know, it was just like a giveaway thing. She was giving away 3 flavors, and I won one of the flavors. So I remember I ate the whole thing because it was really good. You could barely taste anything inside of it.
Yeah, my vibe.
And at a certain point, I was like listening to a couple of beats on like YouTube or something. And at a certain point, it started smacking because when I put on that beat, the words just started flowing. And it was like the first couple lines. And I was like, okay, I got something here.
Okay.
And it was like a specific topic that I had to talk about, and it just kept flowing.
But did it was it like, did you remember it, or like was it like a memory that came back to you, or was it just like
that
something
situation
random
before?
So this is just off the dome.
It's just
being
off
creative.
the dome, yeah.
Whoa.
But like I have experiences to draw from, so it's not like
Okay.
I'm talking about something I've never been through before.
Okay.
It wasn't drawn from a specific situation, but it was drawn from a feeling that I've experienced. And like the vibe of the song, once I got like the first couple lines, I was like, okay, I know where this is going. But it was just crazy how something in that parfait made me be like, oh, this is the one right here. Like, you know, I knew it as soon as I started writing. I was like,
there shrooms in that parfait?
No.
That's what shrooms make you do too. You know what I mean?
Nah, like, no. Like, I think it was half of me because I was going through a point where I felt like I couldn't really write music the way I wanted to, which was crazy. So, like, the confidence that came out that allowed me to, because a lot of the time I would start writing a song and scrap it.
Okay.
But, like, I just kept going. I saw it through till the end. You know, once I take all of that, oh, maybe this sucks, maybe this isn't, maybe I'm not writing this at my best, or maybe it doesn't sound the best for what I'm trying to make. That all left my head, and I just continued going, and that became the song.
Shout out to the edibles for sure. All right, let's keep it moving. All right. So the song, if you haven't listened to the song, make sure you listen to the song. It's called "Who Is Loving You." So who's apostrophe S, WHO apostrophe S, who's loving you, right? And so it's basically about what, like, let us know.
Somebody cheating.
Real quick.
Yeah, like
somebody cheating, right?
Basically, you just know in the back of your mind that something's not right, whether it's, so like in the song I talk about, he's wearing different cologne, you see him leaving the house, and it's like, why are you trying to smell so good? Who's about to smell you for real?
Yep.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Cologne, the cologne is the, first of all, if I'm cheating, I'm not wearing a different, well, first of all, I don't cheat.
Yeah.
I don't cheat. But like, if everything's the same. Everything's gonna be the same.
And
like,
you know,
I'm not changing up cologne.
That specific part of the song, I would say, was inspired by Mario. Let Me Love You, because he has that line where he's like, I know you smell the perfume, the makeup on his shirt.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so I feel like I remember thinking about that, you know, like, he's wearing new cologne. Why are you wearing new cologne, bro? Like, where did you got that Macy's cologne the way to work?
It's dead obvious.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, women cheat better. I don't cheat, but women cheat better.
But you know, there are those subtle things
they be doing
that
too
change.
much.
Yeah,
like, no. And then it's like the women's intuition. We're gonna pick it up anyway.
For sure.
You might have to just admit it.
That's really what it's about. It's like your intuition. You feeling like, okay, it could be something so subtle. Like maybe he just found a new scent that he like, and he just want to wear it today. Or like, why now?
Right.
You know?
Why when we arguing? We done had 4 arguments back to back. And now you changing your cologne. You going out. You fucking me brand new, right? Because that's what the song said, right?
Fucking me brand new. That's the other thing too. Like the things that you might be like, damn, where'd that little move come from?
Right.
You know, it could have come from anywhere. But it's like, I'm not dumb though. So that's really what it's about. Like the little things that could be taken as, it's not that deep, but you already know in the back of your head, like you just got that intuition, like something's not right. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So make sure you check out that song. That's a deep song. We got a music video. I creatively directed it for her, but like she did all the other stuff. Like she did all the important stuff. Let me talk about it. All right. So okay, on the topic, I want to talk about. It's a little taboo, but we gonna talk about it. I just wanted to kind of squeeze this into it, but let's talk about when you're mentioning people in your songs, right? So you're not necessarily mentioning names, but you're mentioning what they did. It's very incriminating in the sense where it's like it's very obvious, right? So Megan Thee Stallion, she didn't necessarily she didn't necessarily say it was him who did it, but it was very obvious, right? We all knew she was in a big relationship.
Yeah.
She was, broadcasting it everywhere on the social media, and so it's like, how do you feel about like mentioning people in your songs? Like, do you think that's okay, or like should you name drop? Because even like if we talk about Drake, right? Like Drake has gotten backlash about mentioning names in his song, right? So like, what's your input on that? Like, do you feel a way like when you're in the studio? Do you feel like or is there a certain reason why you mention a name versus when you don't? Like, I feel like Megan, she didn't mention a name, but she had to get her shit off. So like, what's your stance?
So maybe not necessarily a name, even like a specific situation. Like, all right, I feel as though, like in the case of Megan,
shout out Megan. We love Megan. Like, here. We hot girls over here.
But obviously, when you're making a song like that, like it's pointing in a certain direction. There have been other artists that have done it too, where it's like, all right, it's kind of obvious who you're talking about. I feel like that's one thing, because a lot of us, we write music. Music comes from real experiences. So if that's my form of release or put in a situation to bed and it just so happens to crank, what am I supposed to do? Not put that song out because it references a situation. Like, that's something that I went through that only helped to make
I feel that.
The art, to create the art. Name dropping is a little bit different, because I listened to a bunch of songs where like they bleep out the name. Like, you could tell they said somebody's name, but they bleeped it out.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, J. Cole did that a couple times. Yeah, okay. For sure. But even if you decide to go the route of saying the name, you don't have to let the name be heard.
Okay.
Or you could substitute the name for somebody else. Like, Drake says a lot of names in his songs.
What? That mean,
like,
you gonna drop every name, every spelling.
Real.
Shout out to Malaya. Right. Like, come on.
You don't know, like, in certain situations, if he's saying somebody's real name, or like, did he just make up a name that went with the flow of the song?
I think that's smart. Make up a name, yeah, for sure.
Like, it's Lily, but he say Kiki or something, like. But it's art. I feel like everybody chooses to express themselves in different ways. Somebody like that might be part of their art to have your name in it. I feel like there's another route you can go, whether it's finding something that rhymes with it, that's different, but it's an expression of art.
What rhymes with Malaya?
Aliyah?
Aliyah? That's not Aaliyah. No, that don't nothing wrong with Malaya.
You can say Malaya, Jalaya.
That's Kalaya. Not a woman. That's not a female name though. Like
Malaya.
You can't.
That's a woman's name.
You can't find another name that rhymes with Malaya.
You just put a consonant in front of it, like.
But
Shalaya.
That's not believable. Shout out to Shalaya. She should work tonight. Like, no. He made sure that her name was on the chart.
You're so used to it being a certain way, but if he would have went with it like that,
shout out to Jalaya.
Okay, Ja is maybe a little bit like Shalaya, but that's where you have a team of writers that can be like, all right, which consonant goes best? Because
look, I don't think you should name drop. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like the hints, right? Because even like B, right? She dropped hints that Mr. Man was cheating, but she never really said, "Oh, Jay-Z is cheating on me." You know what I mean? I gotta look at the camera because
name dropping is like
cheating on Beyonce is crazy. But
name dropping is kind of crazy, but remember, you got different personalities. Like some of the same personalities name dropping would just walk into a room and be like, "Hey, this what you did, X, Y, and Z." Like, I don't, that's the other thing too. I would never. Because that's also me putting my business out there.
Yeah.
But
I feel that.
Yeah. Everybody's different.
Yeah, I'm not that bold.
I
like to drop the hints, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even want people to know that much of my business. Like, is it made up or is it real? Who knows?
So, another thing I want to talk about, right? So, when I listen to music, I don't necessarily hear the lyrics, right? We was talking about the lyrics where you being very explicit about who's in it, or, you dropping hints. But, like, when I listen to music, I feel it. And like I gotta listen to it a couple times before I actually start hearing the lyrics and it start like resonating with me. So like let's talk about some of the lyrics that's in the song, right? So you said,
what did I say?
You said, "Fucking me brand new, like I've been getting, like you've been getting practice, right? So fucking me brand new, like you've been getting practice." Let's dive into that, right? Because we talked about the women's intuition a little bit, but like, how do you know when somebody is fucking you brand new? Mom, don't watch this video. Like, I don't want my mom to watch this because
family just
skip this part.
Swipe
but,
right, swipe left.
How do you know?
It could be a couple different things.
Don't hold nothing back.
It could be a couple different things. Like, where'd you get that position from? Like, we ain't never.
But how you know he ain't went on Pornhub or whatever? He just found something that he just wanted,
That goes back to the rest of the intuition. Like, the other clues aren't adding up to that. It's like, all right, we just had an argument, and then you come back, and I'm like, okay, first of all, you should be wanting to go to sleep. Now you all riled up like something done happened, and like you already got started, but couldn't finish.
Wait, what? Wait, run it back. I wasn't hearing that.
Like,
part.
let's say you're at, I don't know. I gotta talk about this in movie terms because you see it on TV a lot. Like where he's at the office and he's got that sexual tension with like his secretary or something. Y'all getting in an argument and it's like heating up. Now he comes back and he's like, he's going a little bit.
He got you upside down.
Something. And it's like, bro.
You ain't never flipped me up. No, I'm not gonna lie. You know what? Okay, we being transparent, right? I'm not gonna lie. Like, there has been situations where it's like, I was like, hold on. You ain't never pulled that one out. Why you pull that one out today? You know what I mean? Like, I've been pinned to a wall randomly.
Just random.
I loved it. Keep going.
All day.
For sure.
You know what
Keep
I'm
going.
Saying? Like, we didn't talk all day. There wasn't anything from me or you. Like, you just came home on 10. Like,
okay, that's different. That's different, right? Because that tells me like you got some built up energy.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly
different.
What I'm saying.
Okay, so that's what the song is about. Like when he come home, he just got all this energy pinned.
That's what that line is about.
It was your secretary getting you to that point. That's crazy.
Or whatever. Okay, you could be at work with somebody and y'all flirting, and she like, I mean. Yeah, you know, and then now you thinking about her, but
I want to ask my team, show of hands, show of hands. I know y'all don't want to be heard or whatever on the podcast, but let me know if there's been a situation where it's like the man has came home and he just did something different. He did something a little different,
like you could just feel it.
You just knew he was fucking cheating because he showed you something like WWF, new fucking position that you ain't never seen before. Yeah. Wow. No. Okay, so like you got good men. You got some good men, and you're like, all right, okay. I definitely had them surprises. I was just like,
where it's like, I didn't even know you could do that.
Like, shit, like, yeah. Let me check that phone. Right up. I'm gonna bust a nut and check that phone right after. Because you know when they go to the bathroom, you know what I mean? They gotta clean themselves up. I'm gonna check that phone.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Who you was talking to?
Yeah, who's loving you for sure, right? Okay. So let's get into, I feel like this is like a taboo word, right? A lot of people don't really know the definition. I should probably look the definition up. But gaslighting, right? Because it's like, okay, once you bring it to the forefront, you know what I mean? You feel like somebody's cheating on you, and then that's when they're like, what? Like, I'm with you all the time. Like,
yeah, like
why would you even think something like that? You know what I mean? So, like, let's talk about, because I feel like that's what I feel when I listen to the song. I feel like, you know, your man is gaslighting you. You feel like, it don't feel right, but he's trying to act like ain't shit really going on.
Exactly, like you're Delulu.
Right. So why? Let me know, like, what's your stance on gaslighting? Have you ever been gaslighted? Do you feel like, you know, gaslighting is just another way of lying? Like, what's your vibe? Why look up the definition of gaslighting?
Yes and no, because I've definitely been gaslit before. Like, it's just. And I have a line like that in the song too, where it's like, treating me like I'm the bad guy when you know you're the one to blame. Like,
Yep. Shout out to the lyrics.
Why would you ever? Because it's one thing, like I said, the song is about like subtle things that you notice that might be different, which I've been in that situation before, girl, for real. Like, it's the little things that you could be tripping, you could be doing too much, but also your intuition is strong. Like, you know something is different. Like, you feel it. And you bring it up finally, and it's like, bro, my cologne? Like, I just like that scent. Like, I just don't like the one that I used to wear anymore. Like,
right, like, nah, like, you tripping. Like, you know what I mean? They
like,
had
what's
a sale.
wrong with you?
Like,
why are you so insecure? Like, you know, but it's like, but you know you've been deep in something else that you're not supposed to be in at the same time. So, yeah, I've for sure been in that situation. I feel like gaslighting definitely is a thing, because it's one thing to deny, it's one thing to lie, it's another thing to spin it to make it look like somebody else is tripping, somebody else is doing too much or delusional about a situation. Yeah,
they play that Uno reverse card too many times. Okay, so the definition is gaslighting is an insidious form of manipulation. Let me run it back. I had too much to drink. Gaslighting is an insidious form of manipulation and psychological control, right? So, in a sense, like, it's a lot of, if you're a cheater, you're gonna gaslight at the same time, right? So, like, me, I feel like when I'm being gaslit, a lot of times people say, like, oh, it's your emotions, you just overreacting.
Exactly.
Well, it's not that big of a deal. You thinking too deeply into stuff, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I could be, because I'm a Pisces. You know, we are heavily in our emotions. Yeah. You know what I mean? We heavily in our heads. But also, I feel like in my past relationships, I have been gaslit. For sure. And it's like, I allowed them to use my personality traits against me. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what's really been an advantage over them, because it's like me being a Pisces is like, okay, well, you know, you just be tripping.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And when really, no, nigga, you cheating.
Facts.
You're cheating on me.
Like, right? And nobody was tripping. Everybody, like, we were on it. Like, we know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's like they kind of make it seem like it's really nothing. It's just on you. You know what I mean? You're crazy. You're acting crazy. For those out there, if you didn't know, the taboo word gaslighting is all about manipulation. So it's to make you feel like you feel it, like it's to make you feel like you're crazy, but really you're not. You onto something. You onto something. Like, hold on. Maybe not use too much of your emotions, because that'll cancel out everything, your whole argument. But like, definitely you onto something. It's your intuition, baby girl. Tap in.
Period.
All right. So let's talk about making a video, right? Making the video. There was a reason why I put Rihanna here. I don't think you remember why I put Rihanna here, but I'm gonna ask you. Do you remember why?
Didn't you use one of her videos as a reference?
Not a reference, but an inspiration. Yeah. So it was I think it was the Needed Me music video where she was about to shoot the guy, right? It was her, it was Tink, and it probably was somebody else.
Yeah, definitely Tink.
Yeah, right. So I'm gonna set up what I was hearing when I was listening to the music video. Like, it sounds very like, not you was about to kill him, but it sounds like, okay, you was on to that nigga, like, right?
Revenge was coming.
Yeah, but it was still sexy. So I was like, okay, Rihanna, you know what I mean? She was definitely plotting to kill that nigga, but like, she kept it sexy. You know, she had a fine ass robe on, and I really wanted to wear my Rihanna Savage Fenty jumpsuit, but I couldn't wear it for the podcast, and you know, I wanted to shout out Riri, but yeah, like, she had so much like power and sexuality at the same time, so that's what I wanted to give you during your video. You know what I mean? And then Tink, it was it Bottom Bitch? Yes, I think it was Bottom Bitch, right? It was. So Bottom Bitch, right? She was, I think she was in they had like a police set.
Yeah,
like a police officer. Yeah, it was like an interrogation set, and they had like the whole like interrogation wall and all of that. And so that was the vibe I was trying to give. Like, I was trying to give sexy but sensual. And then, like, at the end of the day, we're going to kill this nigga. Yeah. At the end of the day, because okay,
like,
first of all,
get away with it.
Right. And most niggas get away with it,
sure.
right? So like I didn't want us to let him get away. I was like, nah, we gotta kill this nigga. Because a lot of times it's the fantasy, right? You want, I'm gonna kill this nigga. But no, we're really going to kill him. Yeah. So I'm sorry, Davon, we had to kill you, but like that was the vibe, right? And Sandra, you delivered. Like you honestly, hold on, you honestly exceeded my expectations because it's like, okay, you gave us sexy vibes, but when you killed him and you just looking down at his body, like, oh my god.
And then a lot of that was Alex too. Like, shout out to Alex again, but like he was a great director. But yeah, like, once we came up with the concept, like, I kind of knew where we were going. So it's like, I knew the role I had to play. And then if I'm going to do something, I'm going to try to do it well. I'm a bit of a perfectionist in that way. So it was kind of cool to see that side come out, trying to make a music video. So,
I mean, the cameras cut on and you just, you got into it. You surprised me because I thought I was going to have the coach and you know what I mean? But like you have a lot of like sexuality and sensuality to you, so I love that. You made it easy for real.
It's when cameras get rolling.
Except for the was it CBD? It was like, it wasn't real.
Oh yeah, the smoke, like, cause we were in an Airbnb and I was like, listen, I'm not trying to get a $300-400 fine for smoking in this Airbnb, so we're going to make it, I think I tried to do like a vape or something.
It wasn't
like
pulling like how we pull. Yeah.
And then I was like, at this point, we're gonna have to roll up in here.
Right.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was a vibe though. That took y'all what, 2 days?
2 days, but
2
like
days.
maybe 16 hours total.
Yeah. But it turned out really, really nice. So like, if you haven't checked out that video, make sure you go check out that video. Right?
Yeah, I'm really proud of that one.
For sure, you know what I mean? And, you know, I just want, we're in December, you know what I mean? We're wrapping up, we're reflecting on the months that we've had this year. I will say I've had a fucking year. I don't know if you've had a year. Okay, that's side tells the world, right? So I just want to know, like, what are your New Year's resolutions? What are your New Year's reflections? Like, whether or not like you want to do something new next year, or you just trying to be better next year, or you just trying to keep something going, because I know a lot of times people, they do New Year's resolutions and didn't even finish their resolutions last year. So like, what are yours?
I feel differently about New Year's resolutions, like, as I've gotten older. First of all, I'm just glad to be here. Like, if I can just make it to the new year, because
I feel that.
This year showed me like the past, I would say not even like 2023, just, so my birthday's October 2nd. Okay. So from October 2nd, 2022 to October 2nd, 2023, and even continuing, like, I've just learned, like, life just is really not promised, like, and I'm learning that every day. So like, just to make it, to be able to say, all right, what do I want to try to accomplish? That's the first thing. Like, I'm grateful to be able to be alive to try again. But musically, I want to drop more music, of course. Like, I have a lot of things cooking, a lot of songs that I've been writing, but recently I've been focusing on trying to fund the arts.
Where the sponsors at?
Yeah, like,
where the money is?
Fund the art. And it's
Cash
like,
App.
I think I
drop
thought,
your Cash App.
Man, hashtag see Andrea with 4 A's. Like, if you can find my Instagram, just add 2 A's to that and put a $ sign in front of it. Like, yeah, like, period. But in the past, before I dropped Who's Loving You or whatever, like, I was trying to do a lot of things the short way. Like, I thought the talent would pay. Then I had to realize everything we talked about, like, people will act like they rock with you till it's time to really, like, it's your vision. Unless you're paying for it, unless you're putting the money in, it could turn out however, and you just got to deal with it.
Yeah, you got to roll with the punches for me.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's really been my biggest thing, and that's what I've, like, really been working on. So we got this little career or whatever that we trying to turn into a really a money tree for the music, and that has been like my biggest focus for the last half of the year. Like, just growing that and watering that tree so that when I'm ready to come out with my EP, which That's my biggest goal with my art.
Whoa.
Yeah, just having an EP. Like, I have a bunch of songs, a bunch of music that should be out, and I don't want to wait too much longer on that. So,
it sounds like we got an EP coming in 2024. I know that's right. I would say my New Year's resolutions is really just to, like, you know what? I'm gonna say Wallow told me he did a YouTube event in Baltimore, right? A month ago. He was just like, yo, just do the work and keep going. Like, that's really my New Year's resolution. Like, I feel like, you know, I could have a checklist, but, like, even if I have the checklist, what's the point if I'm just going to give up if it's not checked off? You know what I mean? So I'm just like, just being consistent, just keep going. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm going through. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get too much into it, but it's just like, just keep your head down and keep going. That's my resolution, just to, you know, stay the path, no matter what's going on. If it's a hurdle, if it's a wall, if it's a door, whatever it is, that's gonna be what it is. That's gonna be my resolution.
That's probably the best one. Like, consistency is underestimated.
For sure. All right. So let's wrap up the podcast, right? And we just gonna tell me, is there any situation, it could be random, that is weighing on your heart? It could be anything that's weighing on your mind, something that you've been wanting to tell people. Maybe it's something that you're understood about or misunderstood about, or it's something that you just been wanting to tell people about besides your music, but like just something that, you know, has been heavy on your heart this week or whatever. Like, what is it?
Shoot, like this week?
Heavy heart. What is it?
So, sometimes I feel bad. I feel like I've chosen building my career over my music recently.
Okay.
And like, that's been like, it's been pulling me into different directions, because it's like, all right, but I gotta have the money to make the music. Like, if I quit my job, all that shit's down the drain. Unless I'm just about to live out my car or something and like sing for tips, which no, like, I'm too old. Like, actually. So coming to that realization, but also knowing that, like, I know the plans that I have. You know, sometimes I think like, okay, I'm not posting that much on Instagram. I'm not building my brand that much anymore. It's been, last time I was in the studio was like late September, and feeling really bad about that, but also knowing that, like, the people that are going to rock with me are going to rock with me, because I always have signs, like,
Facts.
People are still ready for that music, which is going to come.
Facts.
So when I'm ready to drop, just like Who's Loving You did, it's all going to work out. But I always feel like I'm constantly pulled in them two directions of, like, this is the real life, but this is what I'm really trying to do and accomplish. So that'll probably be the biggest thing that weighs on me.
Love that. Period. And so that wraps up Sappy Hour. All right. I just want to leave us with one song that has been on my mind. You can also weigh in on that as well. So this is the podcast segment that we call a sip. And so this is just a song I want you to listen to, right? So the song that has resonated with me, that it always just keeps me comfort, is Don't You Lie by Offset. And the lyrics are cool, right? The lyrics is just like, you know, he's a cool nigga at the end of the day, you know what I mean? He got his little cool vibe, but it's really the vibe of the song, right? So make sure you tap into Don't You Lie, Offset, and tap into Who's Loving You by Ciandra. You got any songs that you want people to listen to?
Different. That's another one that I think I'm gonna re-record for the EP. But
oh, this is her song.
Yeah.
Tap into her song. Period.
But yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for doing my first interview of Sappy Hour. Shout out to my team for having all the patience in the world.
Yeah.
I love y'all so much. I wish I could pay y'all 1,000 million trillion billion cajillion dollars. But I will one day. And that wraps it up. We out.
Thank you for having me.